So do you ever have to take data from one spreadsheet and paste it over to another? Now, what I'm talking about is just the task of you have a main sheet like this one. It's got 10 columns, and then we have a additional data sheet. So this additional data sheet looks the same. It's got the same columns or not, or maybe they're misspelled. Maybe they're in a different order. But let's say you take that and you have to every day, every couple days, paste it, right? How can we make that easier? There are several ways because, again, sometimes the columns might be named something different. Sometimes they might be in a different order. Sometimes both. So what I'm going to cover is the shortcut way, the formula way, and the Power Query way. So one thing you might have noticed is my using Alt-Tab. I use this quite a bit. You may be familiar, may not be familiar, but it's how you switch windows. So if I hold down Alt, tap Tab, I can go through all these windows. If I just do it once, I'll go to the most recent program I had open. So that's how I handle going between sheets. You can follow along with this if you go to excelobstaclecourse.com and get the download. I really wasn't sure what to call this video, combining sheets, copying and pasting, drag and drop hell. I don't know. But it only allows one download per headline or whatever, so all these are combined into one sheet. Doesn't matter, you could separate them, or maybe you're in a situation where it is an additional tab and you have to copy and paste. All I know is that this is frequently seen in business and jobs, so I thought I'd cover it. So in this first example, we've got additional 1. That's the additional data. It's 100 records long. And we've got main sheet 1, which is the main sheet. So if we're confident that this is going to be the same data, we can just get really good at switching back and forth. Control C, Control V, or Control Shift V. And we know it was here. We can do an eyeball check. Done, right? Of course, some people might be more careful, or if there's gaps here, they might do it one at a time. Then you mess up, you have to start all over again, whatever. So that's a simple situation. On to main sheet 2, and additional 2. Here we have it jumbled. We have all these. Let me get a new sheet here. This is from additional. Let's name it additional. And this is from, these are the headers, sorry, from the main sheet. They're out of order. They're the same number, which is fine, but not in the same order. So a couple different options we've got. We can do a match, look up this value in this set, match exactly with 0, and we've got the order in which it goes. But then it becomes kind of complicated when we go to our additional data sheet. So I'll take both of this and copy it, and then transpose, which I've eliminated the first record, which is no good. Let's try it again. All right, so now that we have the references for how it should be, and we're going to do a sort. Alt-DS, O for options, sort left to right with row 2, because that's the one that has the match numbers in it for when we did the match. And look, we have it in the correct order now. We just eyeball it, we see that it's the same. I find that to be kind of sloppy. So let's do this instead. Let's go and write a formula. I'm going to zoom way in, and I'm going to freeze the top row, which is Alt W for view, freeze panes F, freeze top row R. Why wouldn't it be R, right? So now we have the top row frozen. That's good. That's on the main sheet. We're on main sheet 2 again. And I'm going to type an index formula. Let's go over here, and I'm not going to highlight the headers. I'm just going to highlight all of our data. And since I'm on another sheet, look, it's put the dollar signs in there for me. So then type a comma and row number. I want all the rows. I just don't want one specific row like we're doing an index match. I want all the rows. So I'm going to type a 0. Now when referring to columns, I do want to match those up. So I will do match. So the match is going to be in your main sheet. You're going to get A1 here, the transaction ID for this, and then we're going to drag the formula over. So A1, what are we matching? We go over here to additional data and make our horizontal index. And it already locks it. Comma 0 for exact match. Close that. And look what happened. We have the entire column of the new data. It's 100 records long, which is good. And it's an array formula. So if you type in here, you get a spill. Don't do that. Just copy this over. And then eyeball it. Simple. That's another way to get this done. And then I just copy paste special values. All this is fake data, by the way. This is not from any company. Like I said before, I'm the master of making fake data because I do this day in, day out. So in case you missed the formula, it's equal index. We want to highlight our array, which is the new data. Again, dollar signs appear when we're on a different workbook. Type a comma. We're going to do 0 because we want all the rows. Comma, match. And here we go back to our main sheet, and we highlight the corresponding column name. Comma. Back over here, we make our index, the additional data column headers. No need to lock it, it's already locked. And then you can just hit enter a couple times. There you go. Try it a couple times and you'll get it down. So let's see what's going on with main sheet 3. And I'll just tell you what the problem is. We have misordered columns that are different names, like different naming conventions. Here we have an underscore. Here we have name instead of customer name. It's all different. So how do we do this without going over here saying, okay, quantity sold, we're going to copy paste that. And this is the kind of hell you can get into. You don't want to do this. This is no good. It is inaccurate, potentially, highly manual. There's risk involved. Let's find a different way to do this. And I'm going to go over to my blank sheet. I don't need this anymore. So what I'm going to do is first have my headers, and I think I already had those, but oh well. Transpose those. That's for the main sheet. And we have the mystery headers. I'm actually going to pull a couple more rows so I can reference it in case there's some kind of mystery about what I'm doing. You know, if you have name, does that mean store name? I don't know. So I'm taking a couple examples with me. I like to get it all aligned. So this is additional data. What I'm going to do is take what the convention is on the main sheet and paste it right next to the name on the additional data. Quantity sold, email, Transaction date, it's right there. Store location is there. Total sales. Product name. It's prod name. Product ID is just product. And that's the benefit of pulling some data. Transaction ID is there, and unit price is right there. We'll put new names right there. The one thing that would be good is to go to the originators of the sheet and say, is it possible for you to get on the same naming convention of this main sheet? That's one thing we could do. Or we could just keep this handy for next time it pops up, because all we're going to do is copy the new names, transpose, ST, and boom, we have our situation where we can do our index formula. So let's do that again. Equals index. Array is going to be all this, comma, 0 for all rows, match. What we're looking up is over here in the main sheet. And our index is the columns across the top. Hit enter a couple times. And there we go. There's a problem though with quantity sold. So let's see why there is a problem. Let's retype the formula on this alone. Index. Highlight everything. 0. Match. Main sheet. Main sheet is going to be just the one. And we have our index over here. Comma 0. I think I forgot the comma 0. Don't forget the comma 0 when you're doing a match, because you want exact matches. And when you're doing an array formula, you only have to do the first row like that. Okay. So this is our first row right here. This is where our formula is. We want to take all this and right click SR, and it copies the format for us. So a bit of work. That's one way to get it done. So let's get into Power Query and how we can solve for that. I'm going to pull up just a blank Excel sheet. So now I'm going to use the mouse a little bit. Don't freak out. Go to Data, Get Data from File, from Excel Book. So now as you can see, I have these two sheets here, additional data and main sheet, that I have saved to my desktop in a index example folder. So I'm going to highlight main sheet first, double click, takes me over to Power Query. And I'm going to import the second sheet. That one was jumbled. I think that serves as a good example. So transform, no, I'm just going to load. And what this is going to do is take everything from that spreadsheet and load it into a table. But I'm not done yet. I want to go back to data, get data. I'm going to go to launch Power Query Editor. And what that does is show the source being the main sheet, then navigation to that main sheet too. But I want to load additional data too. So what I'm going to do is do a new query, File, Excel, go to Additional Data, and pick additional 2. That goes with it. And hit OK. And now we have both loaded into Power Query. So what I'm going to do is do an append. I'm going to go to Append Queries, Append Query as New. And it's just calling for 2 tables. We're going to, first table is going to be main sheet 2. Second table, additional 2. And let's go to our append and see what happens. So what it's done is, since these are identical, these headers, the naming convention is identical. There's no spaces or weird things going on. We know they're the same, which is how it should be when you're dealing with data. Go to append 1 and you'll see that it's filed it all in the right order. And now we can do close and load. And it puts the append 1 table right here. So just to prove it out, I'm going to do a little lookup here. So here I'm just going to do a VLOOKUP. going to look up the transaction ID over here in the additional data. Let's highlight the entire column, type a 1, and then false. And if we look here, we see that some of them are NA. So if we go down here and deselect NA, we should see 100. And we do. The count is 100. It's added everything from the additional table. So there you go. There's a couple ways to solve the business problem of copying and pasting, dragging and dropping, whatever. If you have a main sheet and a sheet to append, this is how you can do that. It gets a little bit more useful if you have Power Query up and you want to add additional sheets to this. Let's say you get this once a week. You can drag it over, and as long as it's in the same format with the column headers being named the same, doesn't matter what order. You can just add them to this, and essentially in Power Query, you can do a transformation in order to collect all the sheets that are new. Now, how that gets tricky is if somebody fiddles with the location of the files. That's a lesson for another day. Hope you enjoyed this. If you want to see more of any particular topic, let me know. Thanks for watching.